Hello, welcome, and thank you for coming to this session about JavaFX JavaFX presenting data capabilities. My name is Radko Najman. I'm working as a software engineer at Oracle, and currently I'm working on SingGraph part of JavaFX. Today I will talk about JavaFX features which can help you to visualize data and present data. I will start with a brief overview of JavaFX charts, and will continue with showing you how to implement your own custom chart, advanced chart, and will finish showing you some other ways how to use JavaFX features to visualize data by other ways than charts. So let's start with the charts part. In addition to typical UI elements, JavaFX brings a few types of charts, and currently supported are scatter chart, line chart, bar chart, area, bubble, and pie chart. And besides these 6 charts, you can implement, as I already mentioned, your custom advanced chart. To create a chart, it is a really simple process, and you have to do only 3 simple steps to... Sorry? Aha, okay, I'll try. Okay, I'll try, thank you. To create a chart, there are only 3 simple steps you have to do. The first step is define chart axis. Then you have to specify series of data, and finally you have to instantiate the chart. So looking at the code, this is everything what you have to do to create the chart displayed on the right side. First 2 lines shows axis definition. Then are defined 2 series of data, each series with 3 data items, and on the last line is the chart instantiated. So it is really simple, and you can do it very fast. Let's look now a bit closely at this code axis. Currently in JavaFX are implemented 2 types of axis. It is category axis and number axis. Category axis works on string categories, where each value represents a unique category, and the number axis plots a range of numbers, and these numbers can be any type supported by Java. You can create auto-ranged axis by using default constructor, or you can specify axis range by the axis parameters. You may object when looking at this slide that there is missing something like time or data axis, which is often used when creating charts, and I have to agree, you are right. And when I was writing the application, which I will show later, I found also this issue and was thinking how to do it, because I really missed it. And fortunately there is a very simple solution to it. You have to represent the, for example, date value as a number, and then you can write formatter which will format this value, this number value, to the format which you want to display. So this sample code shows how I represent date values. For date value I using milliseconds, and then from these milliseconds I create a Java date object and format this object to the string which is written in the center of the screen. So it is here /month/date, and this is everything you have to do to create data axis. So also specific data axis is missing in JavaFX. It's very simple to do it. When axes are defined, you have to specify data. For pie chart there is pie chart data class to specify it, and for 2-axis charts there is x epsilon chart data class which is used to specify data. And what is interesting here is the extra value in the last x epsilon chart data constructor. Through this extra value you can pass another specific value to the chart to process it. For example, in bubble chart this value is used to set the bubble radius, but more typically this value is very useful in custom charts where you can use it to draw your own specific charts and displaying specific data which would be difficult to display by standard charts. And I will show this later in this presentation. I will show you how to write your custom chart from scratch. And when you define data, you can also create a few series of data, and that's all on the data side. You may also want to somehow process events on data, on particular data elements in the chart, and to do it you have to you can use this code pattern. Because all chart implementations are extends JavaFX node, and so they inherit their methods and properties. So you can handle mouse or key events, and to do it you only ask the data item for the node which represents it, and add event handler to it. And last thing which you can do with charts is to style them. So if you want to change visual appearance of the chart, you can do it by CSS Styles. JavaFX APIs offers only limited set of methods and properties to alter chart elements directly from Java code, and the recommended way is use CSS Styles. This slide shows 3 examples how what you can do. So the first example shows how you can change color of line chart, and the other 2 examples shows how you can change chart symbol. In the first case it is using image, and in the second case you can use SVG path to define a symbol. And for a complete list of CSS properties, I would recommend you to check JavaFX CSS reference guide, which you can find at the JavaFX web page. So this was a short overview of standard JavaFX charts, and now I will show you a few of the things about which I was talking in the real application. When I was thinking how to present JavaFX charts, so I decided to write sport tracker application because I'm a runner, so I am using this application to track my trainings, and it was a good chance for me to try what we can do with JavaFX in this data processing. So this application is reading data from the database and visualize them by charts or by other ways, what I will show later. So first I will start by showing a few. We have a small screen. Well, okay, so the resolution is slower than should be, but this chart is displaying styled scatter chart, and what I changed or what I styled here by CSS are the chart symbols, and I use images for them, and unfortunately what isn't visited, what you can't see in this resolution is the date axis, which demonstrates what I showed a few slides before, the data formatter. The second example shows or demonstrates events processing, and these pie charts shows how much time was spent each year by all sport activities together. And when I move the mouse pointer over each slice, so another pie chart appears and shows details how this time is split between different sports. So everything what I show here is done using standard JavaFX charts. I had not to implement anything special. I had not to extend any kind of chart. It's just using the possibilities which JavaFX gives me. And so in this chart I'm handling moving mouse over slices of the pie chart and also mouse click. So if I click on the chart, I can see details for all years. And the last example of the standard JavaFX charts shows bubble chart, and in this case it is animated bubble chart, which is also standard feature of JavaFX charts, and you can animate data changes between chart data series, so you can visually nicely see how data are changing. And now I will move to custom chart. So what I'm going to show you is how to implement this specific chart. Before I show you how to do it, how you can build your own advanced chart, so I will say a few words about theory behind this chart. This chart shows how much time was spent in training zones, and when you train, so your heart rate is split into 5 zones, and this slides simply describes for what is each zone's good. And the chart what I implemented displays the time spent in each zones by different colors, and so bar with bar created from 5 pieces, other piece of another color, and that's how each exercise is visualized here. So I will open my NetBeans IDE, or it's too soon for it. First I will show you another slide, and this slide shows what you have to do to create your custom chart. So in case of 2-axis chart, you have to extend x epsilon JavaFX x epsilon chart and override these methods. As you can see from their names, there are methods which manipulate with data items, so methods which put them to the list of items which is then processed, and from which are the data items drawn to the chart. So now I will switch to the editor and try to go slowly through the code. So in the beginning there is just a chart constructor, and the important part is this layout plot children method, which is responsible to plot the chart. So the data which I send to the chart are processed here, and for each data is created zone bar object, and this object is the visual representation of the values which I sent to the chart. So it is here. So I create 5 rectangles, and here in the method which I called update, I pass there by parameters time, how much time was spent in each zone, and from these values I compute the size of the rectangles which represents each zones, and then these rectangles together make the bar which is shown on the chart. So back to the top. So here is from the layout plot children method is called the method which creates me the bar, and then that's almost everything. Then in the rest of the method I only add or remove these zone bar element from the list of data items which is drawn. And in addition to this implementation, I also add tooltip to the bars. So if I move mouse pointer over each bar symbol on the chart, so I can see details for that item. So when I move back to the application, so you can see that in case of this training, how much time was spent in each heart rate zone, and you can see it by visually by the height of each color rectangle, and also you can see the details by pointing mouse pointer over the bar. So this is how to implement non-trivial charts, and now I will show how to process and visualize data by other ways than charts. So what I will show is processing and analyzing data from GPS device. On this screen you can see map, and on this map is drawn a track right by bicycle, and data from this track were logged by GPS device and then put to this application. So GPS log was parsed, and from the data provided by this log was created the JavaFX path object, which is a very nice and simple way how to create any kind of path in JavaFX. So I created this path object from the elements from the latitude and longitude values which I got from the GPS log file. And what you can do is with this path, or another features which you can do, getting what you can do with the path object is you use it in animation, because as you probably know, JavaFX offers you a few ways how to animate objects. So in this case I used this path object to animate the ride. So you can see that red circle, and it simulates the ride. But I can draw the track also by another ways, and for example, I can visualize the altitude of the track, and in this case I read the altitude from the GPS log, and for each altitude I display by different color. So again I can create a path from these altitude elements, and again I still can animate the track and the race. And similarly I can do it with anything what I want to display. So by similar way I can analyze the speed, and different colors shows me different speeds, so I can from this view I can see when I was going up to the hill or down, and similarly I did it for heart rate. So besides charts, you can use lots of other visual JavaFX features to visualize your data. Use effects which are incorporated in JavaFX, animations, and you can present your data by nice looking way. And this is the end of my presentation, so this is what I wanted to show, and if you have any questions you may ask. Yes?
Is that map a still picture, or is that actually a drawn map that coincides with your path?
In this case it is a picture, but it's also working on a real map taken from some map portal. Or
did you have to manually scale the image to fit your drawing, or does JavaFX can it do that for you based on your? Because obviously your path has to coincide with the lines on the actual map, but the map image you could have got it in a different size or something. Did you have to manually, or can you automate that?
Do you mean
if Google Map, there's a zoom level, right? You can
yes.
go really in and really out. You're basically changing the scale of what you're looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you manually find the right zoom in and out level to match the lines that your GPS is doing?
No, in this case I can compute it because I know the latitude and longitude bounds of this map, so I can simply compute the right positions. So then if I would like to scale this map and the path here, so it would be very easy to scale it. Yes.
And if you swap out another map, and
yes.
different GPS data, which automatically.
Yes. And yeah.
There are any means to export the diagrams to PNG or whatever?
No.
Is there anything planned?
I don't know because I'm working, or I don't work in the team which implemented the chart stuff, so I don't know what's their plans, but if you give me your contact, I may ask and let you know.
Today was a session where they talked about snapshots.
Uh-huh.
Store that to a PNG file. So maybe that's the technique to save this. Do you have the source code?
Yes, but okay. It is. I would like to publish this source code as a part of JavaFX samples, but it wasn't done yet. So hopefully, sometimes in the future, it will be available somewhere.
So the animated pie graph that you had.
I'm sorry.
The animated pie graph we had, where you clicked on a region and the extra bars came out, how was that implemented?
So this path object is the path which I'm animating, and to make the animation. Yes, in this case, I have two pie charts. One so here I have two pie charts. One is this dark pie chart, and under it is lying second pie chart, which is by default non-visible. And when I move the mouse over each slice, so I make visible the corresponding part of the underlying pie chart. Any other question? If not, so thank you for your attention, for coming, and hopefully it was somehow useful for you. Thank you.